Morning, morning, everybody. Hope everybody is well. It is Monday, the 10th of August, and we're going to go through London. So let's see obviously what we've got in store, what we can go with, where everything is. And so my markets are kind of a bit stagnant at the moment. So we're pricing in a 40 to 45% chance that the Federal Reserve are going to increase interest rates, and so you know it's gone down from 60% to 40%. All right, you don't have to understand this, but I think it's good to understand it because markets, that's the obviously the expectation. So for those of you who are new, about 2 months ago, I built this tool, which I've been doing a bit of work on. We're going to actually transfer it to a website, but that's going to be probably next week. So what I'm going to do every morning is obviously go through it, but you'll be able to click and generate your own macro report for Asia, London, and New York. And so yeah, it's the guys, well, the guys who obviously you using it before, have found it very, very useful, but it's just going to give you a bit of an update on everything that is happening. So, that's going to be coming back probably in the next week or two once we transfer everything over. So not a lot of news happening today either. In regards to the Strait, basically there's been really, really good talks between Iran and Oman. However, Iran want to include the US, which I guess, you can't really blame them. Um, so, you can't really blame them. They want, some sanctions in place. They want some reimbursement from the US, which I don't think they're going to get, but and then they also want, yeah, them to completely drop back from the straight, so yeah, that's wait and see expectations in regards to what has been happening. If you look here, oil obviously has pump pumped up. That to me tells me that obviously markets are saying that it's not so black and white in regards to how everything excuse me, how everything should be happening. These talks are good, but obviously it's not great, because if it was great, all would be starting to tumble a bit uh down here. So we can obviously use oil to kind of explain to us obviously how well negotiations are going, and obviously this could change at any time, but right now everything's holding. So everything is holding. Um, Dollar chart also holding. I do think dollar, you can't be trying to buy it, at the moment, just because of overall trend, the pressure, what happened on Friday. However, it is, slowing. All right. It's 100%, starting to, slow in regards to, yeah, it absolutely hammered down here on Friday into 99,500, but there's not enough weakness to push it through that. However, I do think there is a lot more, and obviously we're all about probabilities here. I believe there's a higher probability that we're gonna come back and tap 99,500 than there is us coming up here to tap 100. So what what I'm gonna try and price in is, I want price to kind of drift into this area here. All right. before coming down into obviously this 500, but we can't be looking to buy this morning because of this. Probably our strongest pairs are going to be Aussie, yen, because Aussie, if gold stays high, I mean gold's up 0.3%. If gold stays high, that's going to drag Aussie up. If if yields start to drop, that's going to drag yen down too. And then obviously we'll pick one between GBP USD and Euro USD, but we'll take a look at those in a minute. 10-year yields here, dropped a little bit on market open. Obviously, as you can see here, um, market closed here on Friday, opened here last night, but it's been one big tail off here. So I can see these, these lows here today being here, but I don't think we're going to get any crazy moves until we obviously get, CPI data come out on Wednesday. So that's obviously one thing that we've got to be aware of. Um, right. Stock markets are a bit kind of, n neutral. We got US 30 down 0.05%. We got SPX 500 up 0.08 and then US 100 up 0.23. So nothing, major for today. Is a little bit risk adverse, but not too much. It's early, and obviously we've got a long way to go. So let's first things first. Let's have a little look here at Aussie. We've obviously agreed. We want to buy it. Trend's good. EMAs are good. Macro's good. Right. That is our first three reasons, why we're obviously going to buy Aussie over the dollar. So but it's understanding where we're going to buy it from. All right. So, hypothetically, if we were being old school, we would use the Fibonacci. All right. But we are not going to use that. Yes, there's a ch chance of it reversing because of trend, but I think our lowest possible point is actually above that because we're only trading in, London. So I believe our lowest point we can come is here, but I think we're going to be a little bit more aggressive this morning. Let's just have a look. I like the idea of going somewhere around here because, it'd be coming back into these Asian, lows here. We could even drop it down slightly. Let's have a look what we've got here. I mean, 600 is a good place. We're gonna extend everything a little bit more. Oh, 570, 500. There we go. So that's my kind of area to buy from. Um, we're gonna push this down a bit, but I'm not gonna try and do anything crazy here. What's 45 now? Give us 15. Let's just have a look at this. That's the wrong way around. Oh God. There we go. Right. Let's just have a look at this on an 8 hour. We dropped it down to 30. We're tapping into these highs here. So I'm actually going to go with this. And I don't think that's unreasonable for us to be wanting to tap into these highs here. All right. Especially with the trend that is happening here. So that's what I'm looking for here on AUD/USD. Stops, they're kind of not in a great place, but you know what? I just can't see it going lower. What's this one here? Yeah, because our next kind of angle would have to be potentially 575 we could do if we wanted to be a little bit safer. We could do this. Oh, we could do you know what? We'll do this. There we go. Something like this. And that's a little bit safer, but I just think it might be better for us to do this. So stops for here. Yep, happy with that. Right. So stop loss is going to be down here. I still want to look into protecting because obviously markets are not clean. We've got our entry number three. Let's clone these because they're the same color. Entry number two and entry number one. And then we've got, let's do clone. We've got our full TP, which is, I think it's reasonable. We're obviously not targeting those other highs. We're targeting just below. TP1, I'm actually pretty happy with it there. We could raise it up slightly. Somewhere around here. Something like this is what I'd be looking at here on Aussie. So let's put this one in. There we go. That's my t top pick for today. Let's just have a look at these. Mm, I'm going to stay away from pound just because it's bunching here, and obviously what I would be probably doing is having a different kind of strategy here. I'd get rid of this. And I'd be having a different kind of strategy where I'd be looking at this on a lot, a lower time frame here. You might potentially be wanting to get a breakout and then trading off of the breakout because we are starting to, smush it all in together, which we don't, like too much. But if we break out clean on a 15-minute time frame, that'll be our indication to buy. So euro here. Let's now have a look at euro. So a look at euro here. So. Mm, 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 Uh, I'm going to allocate a little bit more of a drop on euro, but we've got potentially. Oh, is that going to be too much though? We could do 400. That's our 30, isn't it? Roughly, yeah. We could do 400. I'm going to hold this one here. I think I'd rather just play a little bit safer um, on this one. And then we've obviously got a good kind of allocation here because we're not going too crazy. Stops are obviously still nice and tight, and obviously all we're doing is just targeting roughly around those previous highs there. So I'm not. We need that to be 20 really. Yeah, yeah, happy with that. Just want this to drift down here. I mean, we could be slightly more aggressive if we wanted to. We could do 450. Let's do that. Stuff it. Let's go for it on a Monday. Something like this. Then we're going to have to raise this up here as well. So we'll be targeting these highs here. There we go. Works out to a T that. To an absolute T. Right. Let's put this here. So I'll stop and then I can do this a bit quicker now. 2, 3, 4. Right. Remember to get your questions ready because we're going to do USD JPY after this. We're going to go through gold. I'm going to put this targeting these highs. You can see here, 1, 2. So make sure you get your questions ready. happy to answer anything. But obviously, again, it's tough trading again this morning. So I always think, trading life is all about managing your expectations. And I think, at the moment, it seems pretty important to obviously be managing them. So, it's not going to be a crazy day t t today. Your USD by trade idea. We'll just go through some of the, levels on gold here. All right. So we're going to go through all I ever tell you to kind of mark up previous daily high, previous daily low. All right. So that's Friday here. All right. We then got Asia, Asian high. We're going to have to make that a slightly different color. And Asian low. So we're already breaching this. All right. So if you were trading this, London, these would obviously be these two levels here would probably be your core. Um, and then it's about really just kind of picking something random here because there is a lot to target here. So if you're then going on a 15-minute chart, you're going to want to look to obviously to buy between here and here potentially. Is there enough this morning for this to push higher? I don't think so. So you might look at trading it to down. If this breaks, you might. We obviously know that Asia probably won't get tapped if it doesn't get tapped in London. So. But probably these two, levels here. So 4351 to 4371, that's your kind of area of trading. Watch this potentially bounce here. You know, um, we know as well during London, if this taps here, there's a higher probability it's going to breach Asian low and make a new low. But I do think there is potential here for obviously gold to drop, because it is struggling and there's not a lot helping it push up higher. So anyway, USD JPY is another one here. Now, let's just have a look at this on a daily. So we've got Asia is starting to bullet up here. So I'm gonna allow a little bit of safety. I quite like the high from the other day, from Friday. But I'm going to start this at 600. And then potentially we go to 600 to 900. Potentially we do something like this. So we're targeting it coming into these highs. Let's just have a look at this because we can have. Oh, we're going to be on the 2 hour here. There we go. So we don't want to take the biscuit too much, but obviously Asia can, move crazy. So let's go like 150. All right, and then we'll do our allocation. It is going to have to be slightly more, so take a bit less risk on this one here. So let's go 150 pips, and let's go for a 50 pip stop loss. So just remember, we're obviously allocating, slightly more. So just be a bit careful. Let me just check this for a minute, and then we'll be good. Yeah, cool. So that's what we are looking at here. I think on USD JPY. Right, we can see here that there's heavy, selling pressure. We might pierce Friday, but then hopefully drop back down again. But you need to be on it on this one here. All right, so need to be on it. Um, Smith screen, because it'll move pretty quickly. So, you obviously want to have an you know, if you don't know, you know, you can Apple Max control left click and then alert, or you can go up here and obviously hand type it in, but this will, you know, highlight to you when price has tapped. So 2, 3, 4. There we go. Right, so yellow, red, but just err on the side of caution this morning because it's um it's not clean, and I do think dollar has got the possibility to drift up slightly, which is obviously what we want here. But we're going for a bigger trade here on USD JPY. So USD JPY sell trade idea. There we go. Right. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions at all? Oh, we've got a few here. Laureen, will the news Wednesday have an equal impact? Yes. Just as big as last Friday. Yes. Because it's the main kind of worry at the moment. So CPI is inflation. All right. So, you know, markets are kind of gearing up for it. If you look at what is happening. So what we're going to have priced in is that inflation is going to cool slightly. All right. Now, if inflation comes in higher, you know, so there's more worry about it, that's gonna, you know, send things you know, crazy because it's out of control. Because if you've got rubbish labor market, high inflation, you know, it's tricky, you know, because obviously, you know, naturally, how you got to look at it. The less guys in work, the harder it is to control it in inflation. Because obviously, here in the UK, you know, we've obviously it's probably not that high, but there's a proportion of, say, government funded individuals. Yeah. All right. Where the government will give you money, and obviously that's what you're spending, you know. So, you know, the US is like that too, and you know, yeah, maybe it's just got particularly high. You know, and obviously that's why the unemployment rate is still, you know, low because maybe they categorize, you know, someone who's being helped as not unemployed. You know, but obviously that's going to be harder for them to curb spending because obviously, yeah, it's control, isn't it? Phil, all right, Dan, on Friday, why did USD, Euro USD Gold yields all pump at one, which was before the news at 1:30? Let's have a look at this. 'Cause I thought they pumped on the news, but I was in the airport, so right. No, gold pumped to 1:30. USD JPY pumped to 1:30. GBPUSD pumped at 1:30. Is right, yeah. Yeah, 1:30. Euro USD 1:30. Yeah, no, everything pumped on Q. What was interesting actually was we had kind of little, if we look at this on a 1 minute, gold and everything at one took this dive down just before and then straight wham. I mean, look at this 1 minute candle. All right, so we moved in 1 minute on gold. It moved, that's euro, 441 pips on gold. Let's just get it on Friday. Monday, don't want that. So gold, that is Monday. There we go. gold on Friday. Um, check check your time zone here. Um, but yeah, it 100% moved at 1:30. 400 pips. Crazy move. So yeah. But yeah, right. Does anyone have any more questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna end it here. Um, Otherwise, I'm gonna end it here. I'm obviously happy to help answer anything. If not, I will be doing a live tonight at 8. So I'm gonna have a big Q&A. So ask me anything that you want to. That's gonna be live at 8 p.m. So, right, have a great evening. Great evening. Have a great day, and yeah, let's make sure we hop on some good trades. So have a good one, team. Have a good one.